Islam.
Islam.
We give honor to Allah, our God, and the creator of the heavens and earth and all there is that in. Anything that's ever been made has been made by Allah. We give honor to the holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, because Allah had sent him to free the Moors and teach us how to lift fallen humanity. And I am Grand Sheik Roy Williams Bay, and this is Sheikah's Anna. What's your
Anna
name?
Anna Anna Bay.
It's Sheikah's Anna Bay. Yeah, well, almost lost you there for a minute. Oh boy, I tell you, it's good to have a little humor in life. You know, I, I follow the spirit of Allah. I don't care who agrees or don't agree with it. We're not perfect people. We ain't trying to be perfect people.
Islam.
I notice a lot of Moors. They come off with this. They are holier than thou. They so
Islam.
perfect. Y'all remind me of the fake folks over there in Christian land. You're so uppity, so high and mighty. Can't nobody talk to you.
Islam.
They got to say everything the right way. And when we first started Sunday school, we got hit by a couple of people that felt that we offended them, and that was okay. You
Islam.
have a right to do what you got to do, and they didn't understand where we was coming from, and we were hurt. I'm gonna tell you, y'all did a good job. You
Islam.
hurt our spirits, but we're not perfect. We're trying to get out the message about Moors and help lift fallen humanity.
Islam.
And if I'm not that good of a teacher, you go find a channel where the teacher is more experienced than we are. Our job is
Islam.
to help lift fallen humanity, and that's what we're going to try to do. Fallen humanity are the Moors. Fallen humanity are the people who are called Black, Negro, African American, Colored, and Ethiopian. These
Islam.
are fallen humanity. All these people I just mentioned, if you have been going by the mark, the slave mark of Black, Colored, Negro, African American, or Ethiopian, more than likely you are a Moor. You don't become a Moor. You declare and proclaim through becoming nationalized that you are who you are. Okay? So, having said that, we're going to go into the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, and we're going to page 36 today. And I'm going to teach what I can from chapter 26. And it speaks of the holy instructions of unity. Now, I noticed that these books that we purchase, some of the writing is light, very light. So as I read, there's some words I do not see clearly. So I'm going to try to fill them in with what I think they say. I don't have a choice. I did not print the book, and I don't have a better copy to go by. So if anybody knows what the words were that I missed, and you are here to view the video, please put the words down. And
Islam.
like on line 6, there's a whole word or two, three. There's like 3 words. I can't really tell what they are. So if you see them and you know where I'm at, just please leave a comment. Another thing I would like to say, uh, I notice some people have like YouTube teaching pages or whatever, and they say don't leave no negative comments. Well, we welcome negative comments. You leave whatever you feel like you gotta leave, because what's going to happen when you leave, excuse me, a good comment or a negative comment, you're learning and we're learning. Because if you say something that I need to teach you personally on, I'm going to leave you a reply.
Islam.
If we get into a dialogue, I'm going to do my best to stay in my higher self, stay into my Allah self, my God self, and teach you. And if you're unteachable, then you having left a negative remark just proves back to everyone that's watching that you need work. Islam. That's the way it goes. All right, let's go into the lesson. Holy instructions of unity. The gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah, and He appointed to every one his portion, in what measure seemeth good unto himself. Let's go over that. The gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah. I mean, that's very simple. Understanding means that you get it, means that you fully understand what was spoken, what was learned. You were trained, you got it. Now, some conscious people have learned to use that word understanding, and we say overstanding, which means that you thoroughly, as a scholar, get it. You, whatever it is that subject is, you can now teach it. But according to the holy instructions of unity, the gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah. So if you get understanding and then you get it to the point that you overstand it, that all that come from Allah. It didn't come from you. Allah gave it to you. God gave it to you. Those of us that can teach seemingly to be intelligent, that's not of your own. That comes from Allah. So don't think that you all that, because Allah gave it to you. And it says, and He appointed to every one his portion. So if there are those of us that seem like they're not as highly intelligent, their IQ is not the same as yours, so you think you all that, and there's others who you can clearly look at, they don't get it. You know, we call them, some people call them slow, some people call them average, above average, below average, whatever term you think you might want to label them with. Allah has already told you that He's made everybody with the understanding that He saw fit to give them. So don't be down on nobody, and don't be standing nobody up on no pedestal, because all understanding come from Allah. It's nothing that we've done of our own. So if you got it and somebody else don't have it as well, don't think so high and mighty of yourself, because you're not that. And don't be putting people down that don't have it, because Allah made them the way He wanted them to be. It say right there, He appointed to everyone his portion, and what measure seemeth good unto himself. So if you got a problem with a person who don't have the high intellect as you think you have, you got a problem with self, and you got a bigger problem with Allah, because now you telling Allah what to do. You're telling Allah that what He did wasn't right. It wasn't good enough. You made that person, they don't think good, and I'm better than them. Don't be going with that. Not one of us is better than the other. And if you find yourself with such greatness and high intellect, then you ought to know this scripture. If you got it like that and you all that, you ought to know how to look upon your brother and your sister who ain't as smart as you.
Islam.
Because you so smart, you should know how to hold that other person's hand and help them along, because you got it like that, because you so intelligent. Now, when you're intelligent and you learn it and you got degrees and all this, and you look down on people, guess what? You are just as dumb as a baby who don't know nothing. Because with all your intellect and all your learning, you have not learned humility. You have not learned how to hold your brother's hand and help them along with your intellect. Let us move on. Number 2, Hath he endowed thee with wisdom? Hath he enlightened thy mind with the knowledge of truth? Communicate it to the ignorant for their instruction. Ain't that what I just said? Help your brother who is under you and intellect wise. He's still all human. She's still all human. She's just as much as you and me and everybody else. Because as long as Allah got his breath in them, we are all Allah's children. And it says, communicate it to the wise for their own improvement. So there's two things here, he says. You got the wisdom, and you got the enlightenment, and you got the knowledge. Communicate it to the ignorant for their instruction. So when you see those who need instruction, give it to them. Don't look at them and say, ugh, they so GD stupid. They're so dumb. They a-holes. Well, I mean, that's Allah say don't do that. He said communicate to help them with the instructions. You know, you take like Christmas. Everybody gets their toy and whatever, and we're not talking about Christmas, good or bad. Get the heck off of that bull crap. Okay? We're trying to teach a lesson through a metaphor here. If you got your child got a toy in Christmas and he need to put it together, well, he ignorant because he don't know how to put it together. So there's two things can happen here. Either you can take your adult wisdom and help your child to put that toy together, or both of you can sit down and read the instructions that it came with and enlighten him and yourself. So that is the ignorant, communicate it to the ignorant for their instruction. You help the ignorant get their instructions. And communicate to the wise for their own improvement. So everybody, this according to what this just said, everybody stands in the need of improvement. The ignorant and the wise. We all ain't got there yet. And until we find that perfect balance and we get on that path of pure light, we're not gonna go back and be one with Allah. So until then, you ain't equal to Allah. We all striving to reach perfection. All right, number 3. The wise is less presuming than folly. I'm sorry. I don't know how my eyes got crossed up that far down on that line. True wisdom is less presuming than folly. The wise man doubteth often. Did that say doubteth?
Yeah.
Or doubleth?
Doubteth.
D-O-U-B.
It's doubteth.
Doubteth often. And change. Oh, yeah. That's what it says. True wisdom is less presuming than folly. The wise man doubteth often and changeth his mind. Now, why does that happen? It says that if you're wise, it's less presuming than folly. So wise, less presuming than folly, because folly, the people that are foolish, foolish, you presume things. But wisdom helps you to not presume. You're not presumption. You're not just going along with, oh, I guess so. People always say, I guess so. But the wise man, he takes and he thinks things over and over and over. And he mulls it over. And he's trying to figure out what is the best way that I can approach this. How best can I handle this situation? So he doubteth himself often and changes his mind. Now, to the other side, the fool is obstinate. That means he just standing there in his own way and doubteth not. He don't think nothing over. The fool don't think nothing over. He knoweth all things but his own ignorance.
Islam.
How many people you know that you can talk to, they know everything. They know it all. They know it. I know. I just want to get this. I just want to get that. But you didn't get the foundation. How you gonna start building sticks? You go buy lumber and you start building a house on the ground. But you didn't put no concrete footing in the ground. You didn't put no footing. You ain't built no blocks. You ain't level it, but you're gonna go and buy lumber. You're gonna build a house. That's a fool. They just go. They ain't gonna even think about it. They don't see the footing in the ground when they look at anybody's house. All they see is the wood that's on top of the ground. So they go and start building a house with the wood on top of the ground. And as they build, they'll never get it done because if the ground ain't level, or even if it is level, it ain't gonna stay there because it ain't got no foundation. That's what it's talking about a fool. Fool, his own ignorance is a lack of foundation. That's just common sense. And number four, the pride. Oh, this is good. The pride of emptiness is an abomination. And to talk much is the foolishness of folly. Nevertheless, it is the part of wisdom to hear with patience their impertinence and to pity their absurdity. Excuse me. The pride of emptiness is an abomination. Pride is an emptiness because once you get pride, it's like you have put yourself encased in a bubble. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. And the pity of their absurdity is when we look at you and we know you could do better, but it's your own stupidity, your own ignorance, your own stubbornness that keeps you from doing better than what you are. Number five, yet be not puffed up in thine own conceit, neither boast of superior understanding. The clearest human knowledge is but blindness and folly. Now, yet be not puffed up in thine own conceit. What? Thine own conceit? Oh, I know something. I learned something. I know something don't nobody else know. Let's go with a little something here. I'm going to have a little fun. All right. So you go get a little knowledge and you say, okay, I'm going to set up a trust. And you're in a group of people and everybody's teaching one another and you learn how to do a trust. And you go set up this trust. You even go far as you can do a bank trust. And then you figure out how to do all this stuff and you think you know something. So you learn how to get to that point because other folk have led you to there. Then you took something, found out, and you ran with it. But now you think you got something, which is public knowledge.
Islam.
It's in the books.
Islam.
It's on the internet.
Islam.
But you think you done got hold of something, and now you're going to shut down and be quiet and secretive about it. You're in your own conceit.
Islam.
So all you doing when you do this kind of behavior, you blocking the rest of the blessings that should follow. You're standing in your own way.
Islam.
So they say, yeah, be not puffed up in thine own conceit. Oh, I'm going to do this. I got this. I'm going to run with this. That's fine. But ain't nothing that big, ain't nothing that great, ain't nothing that important that you need to think that you got to keep it to yourself because you're only making yourself dumb, blind, and stupid.
Islam.
Because like you got it, anybody can get it. And you're so blind in your own conceit. And then it says, neither boast of superior understanding. Okay, so you done this thing. You think that you have mastered something. The world is so much bigger than this tiny little thought you got in your mind that you're going to do this and you're going to be great or you're going to damage somebody with whatever you're doing. It don't work that way. You got superior understanding. You ain't got no superior understanding.
Islam.
Until you understand how to treat your brother right and your sister right, especially starting with family,
Islam.
you didn't get it. You got it all foul. All foul. You foul and everything you're doing is foul. The clearest human knowledge is but blindness and folly. So you get a little knowledge, a little wisdom, a little understanding, and you run with it.
Islam.
That's sad. Because you know what's sad? You can't see through your own ignorance. and those that are wise
Islam.
are loving you and watching you and wishing that they could throw a rope on you like a wild horse and tame you.
Islam.
But you can't be tamed because you're running so far, so fast, can't nobody even get a rope on your ass. Ah, yeah, I'll say that. Number 6, the wise man fleeth his imperfections and is humble in his labor in vain. For his own aberration, uh, 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 approbation, but the fool peepeth in the shadow stream of his own mind, and is pleased with the pebbles which he sees at the bottom. He bringeth them up and showeth them as pearls, and with the applause of his
Brother.
brethren denigrate himself. So the wise man fleeth his imperfections. The wise man tried to, no, what did it say? Feeleth. The wise man feeleth, I'm sorry, the wise man, Feelet, feeleth. The wise man feeleth his imperfections and is humbled in his labor in his in vain, for his own operation. But the fool peepeth in the shadow stream of his own mind. So it's saying that the wise man, he know that he got imperfections and he try to deal with himself and fix himself daily. You know you ain't perfect. You know little
Islam.
issues. You know you get mad too quick. You short tempered. You ain't got patience, or you think you're so smart, and then you look at it and say, "Oh man, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. I could have handled that a different way." But the fool looked in his own mind and said, "Oh man, I got it. Look at
Islam.
me." And you can tell a fool when they come around, cause they just look like one. They look like one, and the bad thing about it, they look like one and don't even know it. And you know what? You got to leave a fool to his father. Ain't nothing you can do with a fool. Love him, feed him, and help him out the door.
Amen. Islam.
He boasted of attainments in things that are of no worth. But where is the shame to be ignorant? There he have no understanding. Even in the path of wisdom he toileth after folly, which means that even if you're of a little bit of intelligence, a little learned, you still have problems going after the folly, the foolish things, but you don't entertain them. You look at them and come on back out of it. And shame and disappointment are the reward of his labor. But the wise man cultivates his mind with knowledge. The improvement of his arts is his delight, and their unity to the public crowneth with honor. Nevertheless, the attainment of virtue he accounteth as the highest learning, and the science of happiness is the study of his life. This is so beautiful. But the wise man cultivates his mind with knowledge. What's that mean? I'm going to put it like this. The greatest teaching tool out here that we have is the television. And then the next teaching tool is the internet and the radio. All these things are teaching tools for the general public. But the television is the worst of them all because the television is called the program tool, which means that they put on there in program form what they would like you to learn. Program. Program means this is what you shall follow. This is what we teach. This is what you follow. The television is a program tool. So what you feed your mind is what your mind will eat. All this silly stuff, a lot of these the housewives of this, that, and the other, the basketball wives of this, that, and the other, uh, the bachelor and all this foolishness that they have. When you feed your mind these things, these MTV dance videos with the poor vibrational music, which is cracking the protection around your soul, which you don't understand what I just said, but trust me. When you listen to all this music, sometimes you should know when you start to raise your vibration, when you start to raise your frequency to a higher self to please Allah, you're becoming more godly. When you listen to certain things, there should be something in your higher self telling you that's not good for you. That's holding you back. That's not good food. Now, a lot of stuff like eating sugar and salt, these salty snacks, these sugary snacks, we eat them. Why? Because they taste good. They look pretty. But eventually, if you keep doing that and you're ignorant and you hear the health people say that's not good for you, you should stop eating it, at least do it in portion or don't do it at all. When you get up in age, in your folly, what you've done in your youth, it comes out in your older age. You got diabetes, you got cancer, you got arthritis, you got all kind of things going on because what you put inside you is what come out. Now these shows and stuff, like I say, the radio programs, if you entertain yourself with ignorance, ignorance is what you're going to be. Ignorance is what you're going to stay. If you want the higher intellect, if you want to be more pure, more pleasing to Allah, then you got to feed yourself more pure things, more higher standard. And that's what they're saying. But the wise man cultivates his mind with knowledge. Now, knowledge, you should get knowledge on all levels. Okay? I'm a Moor. I'm a proclaimed, declared Moor. I'm nationalized. And having said this, I want to say that when I was not proclaimed, as far as politics, I go for Democrat. I know a lot of Moors go for Republican. There's a lot of Moors go for Democrat. A lot of Moors believe that Trump is the next best thing to sliced bread. A lot of Moors think that Trump is a bunch of bull crap and a lying ass and that he should be removed from office. Okay. Now, having said all this, what I want to say is when I study, I look at Republican news, I look at Democrat news. Why? Because of this verse right here. But the wise man cultivates his mind with knowledge. I get the knowledge from both sides. Guess what? I am better informed at making a decision. Now, you have to understand what I just said. The television is a program tool. The radio is a program tool. The internet is a program tool. They're going to teach and preach propaganda. It's what they do. What they tell you about the Republicans, what they tell you about the Democrats. Then you got the independents in the middle. All of that got nothing to do with nothing. What you see don't have nothing to do with nothing. But the actions speak louder than words. You see a man that's supposed to be the leader of the free world, the head of the government of the United States of America, and he done lied over 14,000 times. That should tell you something. Now, if you a white evangelical or you're a black Christian that follows the white evangelical leadership, and you don't see that the Bible tell you that all liars shall find themselves in hell, and if you don't believe all your Bible, and you going around talking about Trump is the great Messiah, y'all have been bullshitted. Y'all done have been brainwashed some kind of way, shape, and form. Because a man that tell that many daggone lies can't be no good for himself, yet less known than anybody else. Islam. Now, all politicians are liars. All of them go after the money, but there are better politicians than others. You got to understand this. There's a lot of preachers in their politics, and I don't know how they do it, but so be it. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when you get knowledge, get it all. Get it all. Because that way you can make a better informed decision. All right, that's it for today. Enjoy yourselves. Allah is the God of all, and we give all honor to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam.